This will be extremely difficult, won't it, for Jews living in New York?
Yes, Jews are extremely concerned. 63% voted for Cuomo. Sadly, 33% voted for Mamdani, and for various reasons. One of them is expenses and everything that has to do with his financial policies that he's dreaming of putting in place, but also because of some anger that some liberal, progressive, extreme Jews have towards Israel and towards the war. It's very sad that even this amount voted for him. And I know that the majority of New Yorkers, New York Jews, are very, very concerned.
So Zoran Mamdani is going to be the new mayor of New York. But the question is, how did he get elected? What does this mean for the people of New York? And more broadly, what does this mean for the people of the United States? Take a look at this clip over here with Noa Tishby, an Israeli activist, speaking on Sky News about the whole situation. So we'll watch this clip together and then we'll talk about it. But first, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Check this out.
Well, Zoran Mamdani's election as New York mayor isn't just bad for Jews and Israelis, it puts every American at risk. That is the stark warning from Israeli activist, author and actress Noa Tishby. I spoke to her a little earlier. Noa Tishby, great to see you again. Look, this is a shocking, devastating result for New York. How are you feeling today?
I'm actually in New York right now, and I have to say people are quite devastated, as you said. I think it's ironic that a socialist candidate is now the mayor-elect of the capital of capitalism in the world, and nobody knows how it's going to unfold. Look, the bottom line is this: in my opinion, he's not going to be able to reenact and to act out on any of his socialist policies. He's not going to be able to give free grocery stores and free everything. It's just not how the world works. My grandma is from a kibbutz. It's a socialist, used to be a socialist utopia. She thought that it would work. It didn't work there, and it's not going to work here. But the biggest problem that Zoran Mamdani has already done, the biggest problem that he's already inserted into the conversation, the concept that Israel should not be a Jewish state. And that is one of the most concerning things and the greatest dangers to Western order and to us as the Jewish community around the world and anybody who believes in Western values. This is already in the conversation.
This will be extremely difficult, won't it, for Jews living in New York?
Yes, Jews are extremely concerned. 63% voted for Cuomo. Sadly, 33% voted for Mamdani, and for various reasons. One of them is expenses and everything that has to do with his financial policies that he's dreaming of putting in place, but also because of some anger that some liberal, progressive, extreme Jews have towards Israel and towards the war. It's very sad that even this amount voted for him. And I know that the majority of New Yorkers, New York Jews, are very, very concerned. It's not a joke. People are really. I wouldn't be surprised if you'll see a migration out of New York, Florida. Here we come. That's what I hear a lot of people say.
He's not just damaging for the Jewish community, but he's very anti-American as well, many of his positions.
Yes, I saw one of the interviews that his mom gave a couple of years back, and she goes, he's not American at all. He's Indian and Muslim. He doesn't feel. They were raised with that sense of, we're something else first. I don't want to insinuate anything, but it does not feel right for America at all. And we're all very concerned. It's not just about his Muslim faith. It's about his support for people who support Hamas. If you are an aspiring rapper, which is what he is essentially, a failed rapper, and you rap about the Holy Land Five, which he literally rapped about, said you should look them up. When you look them up, you will find out that they were charged and convicted by the FBI for funneling money to Hamas. Those are the people that he is a supporter of. So it's very concerning for anybody, not just for the Jewish community, but for all Americans. I think a lot of people are seeing it as the threat that it is.
Again, another example, he said those pro-Palestinian chants to globalize the Intifada, that they can have different meanings. He's tried to imply that that's an innocent chant when we know it's not.
I personally know it's not, because I lived through a couple of intifadas, and intifada means in Arabic to shake off. And what it means is an uprising, a violent uprising against Jews. It means that you can go ahead and stab and rummage and blow up bombs on buses. It was a very traumatic time, Sherry, and to all of your viewers. I was a young um, teen in Israel when the Intifada happened, and I remember a bus that blew up right by my house on Dizengoff Street, and 22 people were splashed on the road by my house. And I mean, it's a gruesome sight, and it's I remember growing up with a feeling that you can't drive next to a bus. When a bus stops over you, you recoil, and you have to kind of you run away, because they would blow up all the time. That is the intifada that he wants to globalize. What does that mean? It means open season on Jews all over the world, and God knows who else.
Just a final question on the state of Israel at the moment. Are you feeling optimistic about Israel's position in the Middle East? And also, are you confident that the peace deal that Trump has negotiated will hold?
Well, I'm an optimistic person to begin with, so I will always find the glass half empty in every situation. But we have a very fragile peace plan right now in place. The Trump peace plan is absolutely brilliant, because it did something that nobody did before, which is unite the Middle East, not just Israel, but all the Arab world against Hamas. So when you can get Turkey and Qatar to agree on something with Saudi Arabia and Egypt, that's got to be something good. The problem is that Hamas has not signed off on this yet. So Hamas is still playing games with Israeli bodies and trying to buy time while strengthening their hold on the Gaza Strip through slaughtering their own people. So it's very, very fragile. I'm optimistic if the world community will know to keep the pressure on Hamas, and the Arab world will put the pressure on Hamas to actually move to phase 2 of this deal, which means Hamas need to be disarmed and be removed from power. That's what needs to happen for peace to prevail.
Noa Tishby, thank you so much.
Yeah, I think we should all be cautiously optimistic about the new peace agreement and see how it develops. But going back to Mamdani for a moment, she made an interesting point, and a point that I think needs to be emphasized. She said that not only is Mamdani bad for the Jews and Israel, it's also bad for America. And typically you see that it's the same sorts of people that are being on the pro-Palestinian side and fighting for them and campaigning and whatever, that they're also anti-America. Anti-Israel, typically coming along with it, is anti-America. And one of the proofs that you see this time and again is that at all the rallies, at all the demonstrations that are made, all the pro-Israel ones have not only the Israeli flag, in showing solidarity and support with Israel, but it also has the Western nation in which the protest or the rally is taking place. So if it's in Britain, there'll be a lot of British flags also. If it's in the United States, there'll be American flags as well. What you won't find is that we won't find pro-Palestinian rallies that also have American flags. You won't find any American pride or Western pride at all in the pro-Palestinian camps. And the reason that most people on the left are supportive of the Palestinians, or supportive of anything going on over there, of Hamas and whatnot, is because they're looking at the world through a Marxist view of the world. In other words, that there are only two types of people. They're the oppressors or the oppressed. There's only two. It can't be, and the only thing that defines an oppressor is someone that is successful or a country that is successful, and the oppressed are the countries or the person that are not successful. So as soon as you find somebody that is successful or a country that is successful, they only got that way in this warped view of reality. They only got that way because they were an oppressor. And vice versa, if somebody is not successful or a country is not successful, then they only are not successful because of the fact that they were oppressed. And so the far left, who looks at the world through this Marxist view, looks over at what's going on in the Middle East. They see Israel as a successful country. Jews are perceived worldwide as successful people. Therefore, they must be the oppressor. And the Gazans, the Palestinians that are over there that have not been in a particularly successful spot, They obviously got that because they were oppressed by big bad Israel or big bad Jews or big bad Western civilization, colonialists and whatnot. And that's why you won't find people that support the Palestinian cause or support Hamas or support Gaza also championing the West, whatever Western country it is because they believe the whole reason that they are in support of the quote unquote underdog is because of the evils of the oppressive West. And that's something that they distance themselves from completely. So with someone like Zoran Mamdani, who is clearly anti-Israel, perhaps anti-Jewish, we'll see how that actually plays out, but certainly anti-Israel, it comes from this same far left. He openly says he's from the far left. He says he's a democratic socialist. And so with that comes this dissociation from anything that represents traditional American values. This is the core of who was just elected, the mayor of New York, and this is why he was elected. And this is also telling of the people that elected him. Very much, many of these people fell in line with these ideologies, and we'll see how New York does in the next few years, and how much new Mayor Mamdani is able to actually implement, or if the city will be saved despite all of his efforts to destroy it. And meanwhile, we'll follow it along with you, and if you like this content overall, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Take care.